It started the morning after the worst blizzard in 10 years hit Duluth. The snowdrifts were shoulder high, and the city was buried in silence. Except on Lake Superior. Locals, as they always did when the cold came, gathered their fishing gear and headed to the ice. It was tradition. Something about the stillness of that vast frozen lake brought a strange kind of peace. But that morning, something was off. The air was heavier. The horizon looked too still, too flat, almost painted. And there was the sound. Faint at first, like someone drumming their fingers under the ice. Tap, 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 just the ice cracking, the older folks said, waving it off. But it wasn't just the tapping. Some heard whispering, not words they could make out, more like soft voices moving under the surface, distant and echoing. Kids started joking that the lake was haunted. One of them wasn't joking. His name was Mason, 12 years old. Bright kid, smart, curious. Too curious. He had this little red hat he always wore, and on that day, he came out to the lake with his own auger. Cut his own hole, and he never came back. Mason had set up alone, about 30 feet from the rest of the group. His mom said he liked the quiet. But when she looked over an hour later, his red hat was all that remained. Lying perfectly beside the ice hole, as if someone had gently taken it off his head and placed it there. No footprints, no cracked ice, no sign of a struggle. Just the hat, and a strange ring of frost that had spread outward from his fishing hole. The town went on alert. Search and rescue teams combed the area. Divers were brought in, sonar scans, heat imaging, nothing. It was as if the lake had swallowed him whole without a ripple. But that night, things got worse. The whispers came back, stronger. Not just under the ice now, but through the walls of the cabins near the shore. People swore they heard children calling for help. One man said he woke up and saw tiny handprints on his frosted bedroom window. Some thought it was grief. Others said it was panic. But then they found the hole Mason had cut. And what was beneath it changed everything. They drained a section of the lake near Mason's spot. A temporary barrier was set up to lower the water and expose the lakebed. Everyone expected to find something. Maybe a body, maybe evidence. What they found instead chilled them more than the Minnesota air ever could. Frozen into the underside of the thick ice were dozens of handprints. Child-sized, some pressed flat, some smeared like they'd been dragged, and some looked like they were waving. Waving. There was no denying it now. This was something unnatural. A group of locals brought in a historian from the University of Minnesota. She came with old journals, weathered papers, and stories dating back to the 1800s. One in particular stood out. In 1876, a group of orphan children were being transported across the frozen lake when the ice gave way. 27 of them drowned. The bodies were never recovered. The town buried the story. Literally. Built over it. Forgot. But some things don't like to be forgotten. The tapping, the whispers, the handprints, all pointed to one thing. Those kids were still down there. Trapped, or worse, waiting. The lake was closed. Officials blamed ice instability and extreme conditions, but the locals knew the truth. Still, people kept hearing the tapping. And it wasn't just fishermen. Drivers parked along the lakefront claimed to hear knocks from underneath their tires. Kids walking to school turned when they heard voices behind them, only to find fresh prints in the snow, tiny ones. And then came the second disappearance. A girl named Riley vanished walking her dog near the shore. Her footprints ended near the frozen edge. The dog returned, whimpering, soaked, alone. Riley was never found. Now, no one walks the lake at night. Ice fishing has stopped. Houses near the shoreline keep their lights on until morning. And yet, even with all the fear, one question remains. Why are they whispering? Some say the children beneath the ice are warning us. Others believe they want to come back. And a few think the lake doesn't just hold their bodies, it holds their anger. So next time you walk near a frozen lake, and you hear a tap 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 or a whisper just beneath your feet, don't look down, don't listen, and whatever you do, never wave back. Because once you do, they remember you, and they will be waiting.